Welcome to the Agency Navigators podcast. I'm Ro.
I'm Don.
I'm Cayla.
I'm Adam.
And for the first time ever,
I'm Jamie.
There she is. Jamie, we have a Jamie for that. If you know us, if you've worked with us, if you're one of our agency partners, over the last year and a half, you may have heard the name Jamie. She has become everything to all of us. She keeps all of the cats herded, even when we don't want to be. And recently promoted to our AgencyCFO Experience Coordinator. So today we really want to focus on Jamie and the power of an executive assistant. Or as we like to say, we have a Jamie for that. Anything to add?
I think this comes down to highest and best use. The limitation, the most valuable commodity is time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is really what this is really all boils down to, is how do we all maximize the value of our time and make smart decisions with dollars. When we use time wisely, the likelihood is that we're using dollars wisely.
Absolutely. And this goes back to our origins from when it was just Don and I, through a few early employees, to when Cayla, we had the opportunity to nab her. She was in school and COVID hit, so life changed for her and we nabbed her. And then her and I tried desperately to do all things experience in executive assistant. The two of us shared everything. Anything on that, Kay?
Yeah, I think, I won't get too ahead of myself, but playing to strengths, there's also knowing you have to get something done and knowing you're not the best person for the fit. So in the beginning, it was just making sure the experience didn't suffer because it wasn't, necessarily our strength. So it's really nice to have a Jamie for that genuinely cares and wants to deliver a great experience, and it's in her wheelhouse.
Absolutely. That is so well said. And along the way, when Jamie has a background in insurance, and we'll let her talk in a minute, I promise. But I want to tell the story leading up to Jamie. Is like most professionals, I have someone come in and clean the house. And it was time I needed a new service. And Jamie actually left her insurance career and opened a cleaning service. So Cayla connected us, and I always heard her name, but I never met her. And Jamie, now I'm going to ask you, it wasn't the first time you were here, but pretty soon, within the first month or two, I was saying, when are you going to come work for me?
Yeah, it was definitely within, I think, that first 60 days. I do definitely remember the first time I met you, and I'm, cleaning and going through your house, and you said something to Don like, well, now I know why you liked her so much. It clicked. Like you knew that you needed a Jamie for that, and the wheels started to turn.
Absolutely. So when I got to see you work and how hard you worked, and seeing you for month after month cleaning, finally the opportunity arose, and I kind of didn't give you a choice. I said, Jamie, I really need you. I need you to come work with me 12 hours a week. Okay, let's do this.
It was a very enticing offer, and watching you guys from literally the sidelines while I'm in your house, operating my business and you guys operating yours, it piqued my interest to see how much you guys care about the clients and what we do. And it was a really good fit.
It was. And so after the first few months, and it was only supposed to be a short-term gig, we just needed you for 3 or 4 months. It was very clear how invaluable you made yourself. And that's always my tip for anyone I mentor or coach. Everyone is replaceable. It's how hard you make it to be replaced. And Jamie integrated herself so much, she became irreplaceable pretty early on.
Absolutely. And I think, very quickly, I could see for both of us spending more time in our highest and best use.
Absolutely. And that allowed Kay to be in her highest and best use. And along the way, and Jamie, see if you remember, one day I just said, I hope you don't mind, but I'm telling everyone I have a Jamie for that.
I don't quite remember when it was, but I was like, oh, I love that. Like, please do. You do have a Jamie for that. Like, that's such a great way to say, like, I have an EA that I trust and that helps me.
And it really spoke volumes to what we were all building together, because after those initial months of working more one-on-one with me, and we said, no, we want you full-time, you are permanently, you're part-time with us because you still have your cleaning service. It just worked more and more of, oh, Jamie can do this. Jamie wants to do this. Jamie wants to grow. And it became a reoccurring theme of, we have a Jamie for that. And now we're seeing a lot of our agency partners reaching out and developing their own EAs.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's okay, you have something to add.
I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's just become so integral.
Yeah, I was going to say a big part, I think, of why this has been so successful is you nailed it. You started at 12 hours and said, look, these are the immediate needs I have. Is this something you'd be interested in? And a lot of times I think the hang up with hiring an EA or wanting to invest in it is, well, I don't have a 40-hour work week, or I don't even know what I would offer to them. They're not licensed. It's all of these different hang-ups. While it's okay to not have a full job description prepared and, start to just see what is immediate that can come off of your plate. What's going to add that immediate impact that you shouldn't be spending your time on. And again, going back to, it's not just dumping work on a Jamie and saying, go do this. It's saying, I have a Jamie for that. It's someone that genuinely finds joy in doing these items and helping. And that's like the biggest piece to me is Jamie is such a helper and she wants to, and that's part of her value. And you have to find someone that is proud of that. If someone feels like you're just going to give them a lot of things to do and doesn't see that value, it's not going to turn into a full-time role or someone that's going to scale on your team. You have to find someone that wants to help.
I love that. That is so well said, because what struck us early on, and I think it's everything, everyone sees it in the team, is Jamie's a caretaker. And that is core to what she does. So agency partners, if you're listening, agency CFO mastery clients, when you get those yummy cookies at Christmas, Jamie has taken that over. Cayla and I, it was a struggle every year to get those out the door. And now, I know there's many stories about that, but now Jamie just owns it, runs with it. Any celebrations, client gifting, all of it, it comes from her caretaker core. Anything to add on that, Jamie?
I really like what both you and Cayla said, because I genuinely enjoy, the caretaker and helper aspects. And I like being able to see maybe not, the fruits of my labor, but helping anybody with whatever task and then seeing what it does for our clients, what it does for agency CFO. And then also back to Cayla's point of the starting with what you need and building from there. I think from my stance as the EA, it really helped me to be confident and build a sturdy foundation in my role to not just, jump in and have, the blind leading the blind. It was very purposeful and strategic how I was brought on. And I think that has lended to my success and happiness in the role.
Well, and ours as well. So now you're working twice the hours. So we long left the 12 hours a week. And it was, I think last December, she's a year in with us, or just about, just over a year in. And we rebooted a podcast. And there's a reason Adam's on this recording as well, because Adam, I had talked to Don and we approached Adam to be our podcast producer. Again, something that Kay did very well in, and it helped us get it started. But in her role as a CFO, that's not her highest and best use. Adam comes in and does a phenomenal job with Ryan Miller, Rust Belt Productions. Please check him out as well. So Adam, we bring you on. You're doing all the data analytics and the Power BI, and we throw this at you because we want everyone to grow. And you run with this podcast production, correct?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was very excited to get the opportunity. I'm an avid podcast listener. So once I got the opportunity to, get into the production role of this, I was excited, but at the same time, it is not in my normal swim lane, I guess you could say. So there was a lot of learning that happened. And, one of the things with executive assistants that I've experienced is a lot of times they just stay locked down to the executive specifically. The fact that you've allowed Jamie to integrate with the team and help us out with things as well, instead of just keeping them to run your errands, things like that, has been phenomenal. I call Jamie the Robin to my Batman. We are the dynamic duo when it comes to this whole podcasting thing. I got to say, I started the wheels turning with it at first, but then as soon as you guys gave me Jamie as a backup, I got to tell you, she does a phenomenal job. We've been innovating. She's been helping with organizing everything. I don't have enough good things to possibly say about her because I could go on and on all day.
And thank you, Adam. And that was very mindful. I said to Jamie, do you want to work with Adam on the podcast? We could see that, we really wanted this to work. This was a very much an initiative of ours to reboot it. And it just works. And I think that's for takeaways for our agency partners listening or anyone listening who's considering an EA. One, find a caretaker that gets you. That gets your culture, gets your purpose and mission. And two, let them fly. Let them see where they go. Jamie, I don't really even like using executive assistant, which is why we came together as a team and I challenged the team and said, look, we need to promote Jamie. She's so much more than an executive assistant. Yeah, she does agendas and she does scheduling and she does conference prep and ordering and gifting, but now she's doing this podcast. And we have some really cool things coming up at the end of this year we're not going to talk about right now, but we're using her in that role. How can we literally promote Jamie? And when we came together, that's when as a team, and Shauna and Susan aren't on the call either right now, we came up with AgencyCFO Experience Coordinator.
Absolutely, because I think she's integral to so many experiences, whether it be internal, external, you name it.
Community.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And absolutely community, actually. For all of our community donations here locally in Central New York, we have a Jamie for that. And she'll bring something to our attention. It's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. The Clinton Arts and Music Festival, we're doing a sponsorship. The Clinton Fire Department Christmas lights in the park, we do something for that. Having this internal and external advocate helps Don and I sleep at night. And the idea, we've talked about this and we'll be doing future podcasts on how lonely it is being a business owner, but how surrounding yourselves with the team that we have takes that noise away. And that references Larry Linney, very integral in our career. Make the noise go away, The Power of a Second in Command. Please go find that book. It's on Amazon. It's all over. That is crucial for learning. We've all read it internally, and Jamie lives it.
I think this really comes down to is playing to your strengths, and that is every team member. Absolutely, you'll play to the strengths, not trying to overcome the weaknesses.
Yeah,
and getting the right people on the right, in the right seat. It makes a world of difference. The value proposition is just tremendous when you can have every team member playing their highest and best use role.
I also think it's not just a doer. You want someone that's an extension of you as the owner. They don't necessarily need to make the same decisions or at the highest level, but they do represent you and are an extension of you. So to your point, whether it's the community, it's clients, it's internal partnerships, how do they help you have a longer reach into all of those things? Because you as an owner can only do so much in, I'm going to say a basic 80-hour, 40 to 80 hours, depending on what you're working, there's only so much you can extend yourself. So how do you use an EA and leverage them to be an extension of you you still make an impact on all of those key areas that you described, but you don't have to be involved on a maybe tactical level. You can, have them lead that. That's, to me, how it's gotten to an experience coordinator is Jamie's an extension of the two of you, and where your mindsets are at with our community, industry partners, whether it's sending a bottle of champagne, she knows how do we feel as a culture? How should we celebrate clients? She already has that general understanding because she's an extension of the two of you.
And that is so well said, Kay. And what I want to add is for all of the entrepreneur executives out there listening to this, your EA, your team may not do it the exact way you do. That's okay. Let them fly. Let them, if you give them an idea and they take it in a different direction, but with an even better outcome, celebrate it. Don't get so attached to your own idea that it wasn't done exactly the way you envisioned. Maybe something better. And if not, share your vision so they know how to get it. All right, Jamie, we got to let you talk a little bit. What are your insights on this?
I really enjoyed hearing you all, and not just because you're being so complimentary and nice to me, but also because, you hit all of the right nails on the head, I guess. And as I think about, you talking to other business owners, entrepreneurs, and what they might be looking for in an EA, and it really is so customizable, just as agency CFO, we are tailored to fit each of our clients' needs. Your EA, your experience coordinator, your Jamie for that can be, start where it needs to be and build and blossom and become something that really works for your organization and maybe doesn't look like anyone else's, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So when you work at Agency CFO, and you'll see when I say this, if you're watching the video, you're going to see Adam and Cayla nod and laugh. When you're one of us, you are going to end up on client calls. It's just what we do. And was it a month or two ago, you actually did a session on your own, Jamie, with one of our clients on your gifting, how you organize our client gifting and our relationship management, which was great. And now last week, something came up and you actually have another executive assistant that you are mentoring.
It is very exciting, and back, to building and becoming what makes sense. As I did my first client meeting reviewing our gifting procedures, and that, at first I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to tell these, women about how to send gifts? But then as I gathered my spreadsheets and my processes and my general templates, I thought, oh, well, there actually is something to share here. So it was really nice being encouraged to do so and being able to share a blank template, and now even still be in communication with them as they continue to build out and their gifting log blossoms. And then in regards to my coaching EA that I'm working with, it's really great, feeling so confident in my role and having agency CFO feel so confident in me to be able to, share what I know and be a source of support and hopefully help other EAs and, other agency partners that I can help become and reach their full potential.
Awesome. Anything to add to that?
No, I think you've absolutely said it well. I'd say in completion here, look, having an executive assistant, give them a name, whatever you would like, is really good for the health of the business. Mm-hmm. It's great for your financial wellness. It's great for your personal well-being. Don't overlook the opportunity that could be in front of you.
Mm-hmm. So be flexible, be very open. We have good conversations and sometimes small course corrections, which are fine. Merging visions. Let the team you have part in it, because then everyone works together and you truly find the highest and best use of everyone. And I think the final thing I want to add, and I'll kick it to Adam and Kay and Jamie for any final, but mine is if you're an agency partner of ours and you want to be an agency partner of ours, remember, you have a Jamie for that. Anything else, guys?
No, I think you nailed it. And, I'll say have fun with it. It is not meant to be to your point, EA should not look the same. Make it your own. And, to Don's point about it, being personal wellness, find someone that works for you and that's going to mold to who you are as an agency owner. That's really the success of having a Jamie for that.
Adam, anything to add?
Yeah, no, I was going to say I totally agree. If you have tasks, definitely time saving things, find yourself a Jamie. They're in just the value that they add to the team is it's second to none. So yeah, don't hesitate. Go find yourself a Jamie. Not ours though, because she's our Jamie.
No.
Any final thoughts, James?
And it may sound a little odd, but I can't wait to meet all of your Jamies for that. I look forward to working with more EAs of our clients and seeing the Jamie army of EAs and whatever other titles we get built.
Well, you've definitely become our experience coordinator, and you just proved it with that statement. So from the bottom of my heart, I am grateful for you, Jamie.
Be well, and your EA will help you be well.
Take care, everyone.